La la. La la la. I feel like my mic is really low. Interesting. La la la. We'll see. I always feel like I have like similar settings and specific settings that I use, but at the same time, I always feel like they change out of nowhere. Let's see. Let's get this set up. I gotta go to my channel. Whoops. I really love when YouTube sends me notifications for my own stuff. Like YouTube will literally send me a notification for my video that I just posted. Like, check this out. I'm like, I'm fully aware that it's there. Thank you for that, though. Okay. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? All right. So we are here to discuss everything that happened in episode 8, in addition to the very lovely surprise that we got today, which was a trailer, the final trailer for the last 3 episodes, which I did not expect to get. Who expected to get that? I don't remember if we got that in season 2. I was trying to remember, did we get like a trailer for the last few episodes? Was that a thing? Or is this just something they did for this because it's the final season? It feels so sad saying that. Every single time I'm like, the final season, the final season. I think I die a little bit inside. I was eating Twizzlers. Obviously, we know why. They were on my mind. And I've realized that I don't think I really like Twizzlers. I did at one point. I know I like Twizzlers, but they just didn't hit this time. I had maybe 3 or 4 of them, and then I was like, no, I'm good. Now I have like a funky Twizzler taste in my mouth, and I don't love it. Should have got Sour Patch Kids instead. I really do like Sour Patch Kids, but I just posted a reaction to my reaction to the trailer. Wanted to get it out a lot earlier, but I didn't. Hey, Ellie. I wanted to get it out a lot earlier, but I didn't. And I actually didn't even realize that it was out for a while before I was on TikTok scrolling and I saw something and I was like, what is this? And then my friend sent one to me and she was like, oh my God, there's a trailer. There's a trailer. So I immediately ran to the computer to film it. But yeah, I'm excited. Give it a second for people to come in. Ugh. Ellie, what do you think of the last episode? I haven't had a chance to even look at comments on Patreon. I answered a bunch on YouTube, but I haven't looked at the ones on Patreon. I'll be joining back a little bit later, but I just wanted to say hi. Hi, thank you for joining for when you can. Yeah, this was an impromptu kind of a live stream because I was going to do one yesterday and then something happened with one of my friends and I had to be there for them. So I ended up not being able to do this and said I was going to do it today instead. And then it kind of ended up working out really nicely because they dropped the trailer. Hi. Sorry, not just. That's fine. I loved it. I loved it. We got even more Taylor songs. We did get more Taylor songs. Yeah, this ended up working out pretty well because then we got the trailer and now we can talk about that too. But yes, oh my gosh. So the Taylor songs. I am obsessed with Cardigan. I am a Folklore girly. I've said that many times before. Folklore is by far my favorite album of hers. It's the one I revisit the most. And it is pretty much, in my opinion, a perfect album. There are skips for me only because they're so deep. I absolutely love that song, but it is so emotional and it is so sad. So I sometimes will skip that one. But anyway, Cardigan is one of my favorites off of that, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was perfect for that scene too. So beautiful. I just love the show so much. You're team Jer or Con? I am team Jer. I am team Jeremiah, but this is a safe space for everybody. Everybody is welcome. Team Con, Team Jer, everybody is welcome. I actually got a few comments in the last video for the last episode of people being like, wow, you really hate Conrad. And I was like, do I give that energy? Because I don't. I don't hate Conrad at all. I will admit I hated him in the first season. I really did. I actually want to I never have the time because I have so many other things that I wanna edit, but I wanna go back and edit my season 1 reactions to just myself watch the reaction of what I said and how I felt in season 1. But I definitely did not yeah, a little bit. I definitely did not like him in the first season, grew to understand him in the second season, and now the third season, it's just that I think my opinions are more based in defending Jeremiah because I never let's put it this way, I never get a comment that's asking me what I feel about positives in regards to Conrad. I never get that comment. So, I tend to defend and justify, if you will, the reactions and actions or explain how I feel Jeremiah was acting and why he did the things he did because those are the comments that I get. And so, yeah, I can see like people might think that. I always say this, I feel like there are a determined set of rules that apply to each team that was created by the extravagant and intense sides of the teams, right? So, like, if you're team Conrad, you have to hate Jeremiah. You have to think he's a man child. You have to think he's, doesn't love Belly. If you are a team Jer, you have to think Conrad's crazy. You have to think Conrad is like, you know what I mean? Like there are all these things that like the sides have to feel. So it makes it a little difficult to have a conversation with some people sometimes because when you're talking to them, they automatically assume that you side with majority of what the intense side of the fandom sides with. Like I've had a lot of times where people I'll be having a conversation with them in the comments and they'll be like, well, this, and that, and defend something. And I'm like, that didn't even come up. What are you talking about? Like, we didn't even touch on that. And they'll be like, well, you feel like this, and that. And I'm like, no, I don't feel that way. But they just assumed that I did because, again, you associate everybody else's opinions with that team. Do you think Conrad will be in California or will he go back to make men's with Jeremiah and Steven? I think that he's definitely going to go to California first. I think that we will have conversations with Steven and Jeremiah from Conrad. I hope we do at least. But right now, everything is so tense. The emotions are so high that everybody, I think, needed to just like back off and kind of step away from each other to process what just happened. Um, but I think we will get a conversation, hopefully. It's so sad, but Jarrett and even Belly, they don't deserve Con baby, but he wants her so bad. It's so sad, but Jarrett and even Belly, they don't deserve Con baby, but he wants her so bad. Um, I'm sorry, I'm trying to so you're saying Jeremiah and Belly don't deserve Conrad, but it's sad because Conrad wants Belly. I think I think all 3 of them need to take space and figure out who they are away from each other. And I feel like it kinda sounds funny to say that about Conrad considering he did go away for 4 years and broke contact in order to find himself, but I don't think that he is done with that yet, nor was enough effort put into it maybe, because if you spent the last 4 years still, like, in that mindset of belly, 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 belly to the point where you couldn't even come home and hang out with your friends or see your family, I feel like there's still a lot of work there that needs to be done. As far as Belly and Jeremiah, their engagement just ended. They need to take time to reflect. They need to see what they can find in themselves to see who they are as individuals. So I just think everybody needs a little more time. I wouldn't necessarily say they don't deserve each other. I don't think that in the next episode, Belly will get on the plane without Conrad seeing her. And then he gets a call from Laurel or Taylor asking if he knows where she is, and he goes back to Cousins. That's a good theory. Belly will get on the plane without Conrad seeing her. So I thought that, I mean, so we see Belly walking towards him. That doesn't mean that they see each other. I really thought that we were going to get a conversation. I thought that he was going to see her, whether it was her continuing to walk just right up to him or whether it was her walking away and then him seeing her. But a lot of people seem to think that it was a misdirect, that, yeah, we're not going to get him seeing her. But that's a good theory that maybe he will go back to Cousins. I don't think he would go back to Cousins though. Because my thing is, like, even if they're like, oh, we don't know where she is, like, he's not gonna be able to find her, but I don't know, maybe he would. I don't hate Jared, but I think he's just what all the things that Conrad wants. He's just so jealous. I don't know, LOL. Um, Jeremiah's main issue is definitely that he is very jealous of Conrad. That is a thing even aside from Belly. And that is the main thing that he struggles with, that he does need to work on and does need to move past. I think that getting into the relationship with Belly just intensified that and made it so much worse. And it became a bit of a lesser problem when him and Belly were together because Conrad wasn't around. And then, of course, the second Conrad comes back, it became a big, big problem for him again. But as we see, it was still a problem even with Conrad not being in the picture. So I think that I wouldn't necessarily judge him for that because it doesn't just derive from being jealous of Conrad with Belly, if that makes sense. Like there are deeper things there going on, just like a lot of people on Team Jeremiah will say, well, Conrad is distant, he's emotionally unavailable, which I do agree with, but there are still reasons as to why he is. Like, he's not just shutting down because he doesn't want to tell Belly his feelings. There are reasons that he's keeping his feelings back. There are reasons that it's hard for him to communicate. So while I don't love that it's difficult for him to communicate to her, I understand that. So I think that goes both ways, like with Jer, where it's like as much as he is very jealous of Conrad and that tends to affect their relationship, it's not solely about Conrad. So I do sympathize with that part of it, where it's like it's just something in him that is a problem that he needs to work through. Hey, Athena. I think she gets on the plane without him seeing her. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus of what a lot of people feel. I don't know why my gut instinct was just like, no, they're definitely gonna see each other. But now that a lot of people pointed that out, I think maybe they'll do something where like I don't know if anybody in here realized this. I sure didn't. Someone in the comments pointed it out, and I was like, oh my God. When Belly is in front of the board at the airport showing all the flight numbers and everything, it says San Francisco 1020, which obviously would be Conrad's, and then it shows Paris 1020. And they're different gates, but they're, like, very close. I forget what it was, like, Belly was, like, 2D and he was 2B or something like that, but their flights were at the same time. So I think it would be really interesting if we had moments where, like, maybe Belly sees him and doesn't go up to him, but then they almost kind of keep crossing paths by accident or something. That would be cute because that would be very symbolic of what their what their chemistry, like, their relationship has been like, where it's like they're almost there, they're almost with each other, but they're never quite there. But I don't know what we'll get. I love Conrad so much, he's just so Do you think episode 9 will also end the way new trailer ended with her getting the letters? I don't think so. I was really thinking about this because there's so much that they can do with her in Paris, and I feel like they're not gonna be able to jam pack it into one episode. At the same time, we got a hell of a lot in this last episode, and it was my favorite episode so far, and they did a really, really good job with the pacing. A big problem of mine with this season is the pacing of certain episodes, like, they rushed through certain things, and then they were slow with certain things. The last one was great. So, I mean, it's very possible that they would be able to fit everything in and then end the episode with her getting the letter. I also do know that there are quite a few letters. We see I can't remember. We see maybe like 5 of them, but, Belly does say he wrote me yeah, that would make sense. Belly does say he wrote me 1 letter every month, and just from the trailer, we know that the wedding was in August, and we see her and Taylor dancing at what is clearly a New Year's Eve party. So right there, that's at least 5 months, right? August, September, October, November, December, going on 5 months. So, yeah, we do have a bunch of letters to get through. So maybe they do like kind of get her situated in Paris, ends with the letter, and then episode 10 would be more time of hers in Paris and running through all of the letters that she gets. I think they've had all of the conversations they need to have. They need to go through their arcs first. I agree with that. As I agree with that. I They do need to go through their arcs first. Yeah, my biggest one is I want a conversation between Belly and Jeremiah. Like, I think as far as Conrad and Belly, I think they have had the conversations that they need to and now need to have their arcs because I was astounded with Conrad in the last episode. I thought it was fantastic. One of my favorite scenes was when he goes into the dressing room and she's like, "Just leave," and turns and closes her eyes, and you hear the door shut. And then you think like, "Okay, he left." Like he comes and he goes and he comes and he goes, but then she hears his voice and she almost gets like shocked with her eyes open like, "Oh my god, he didn't leave." That confirmed for her that this time is different from all the other times, that he is sticking to his word, that he is sticking to his feelings. He loves her. He wants to be there. He's sticking this out. He's not taking it back. He's not running away anymore. For Belly, she didn't quite give enough to him, I feel, in my opinion, but I also understand because she was about to get married. And so for her, it was all a lot and conflicting. So yeah, I think for them, they have to go on their arcs. For Jeremiah and Conrad, I would like them to, or Jeremiah and Belly, I would like them to have some time to process the relationship because main issue, while it was Conrad, there was also a lot of other things going on in the relationship that wasn't working, and they were having the fight, having the argument, and it was Conrad, 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 but nothing else was brought up. And a lot of people brought that up in my comments. Like Jeremiah never acknowledged the communication issues and things like that when he kind of did in the book. But I think it was hard to bring those other things up when they were so stuck on the Conrad issue. Like Belly, I keep pointing out that Belly never once dismissed that at all. She was like a part of me will always love him. I'll always have a part of me, or I'll always have a part of him in my heart. But Jeremiah was quite literally trying to talk her into not having this wedding. He's like, "You're in love with him. You lied to me about Christmas. There were moments over this whole the summer. Like there were signs." And she's like, "No, no, no." And he's like, "Yes, there were." And he quite literally has to drop her hand to walk away from her. She's still like fully in denial. So I think that they both need time to kind of process that and think about what happened, and then have a conversation as to why else the relationship didn't work, because it wasn't just Conrad. He was just the biggest one. I do want Belly more I do want more Belly Conrad scenes together, because we haven't seen the relationship one time in present, only in flashbacks. Yeah, well, we haven't seen their relationship in the present because they weren't around each other. They weren't around each other. He wanted to stay away from her, so we got the very few moments that we did in summer, and then revolving around the engagement, but we didn't really get to see them, and even those were tense because she was engaged. So, I think that we are going to get more of those, but I don't think it's gonna be in the next episode because she's going to Paris, so we might get some flashbacks. Who do you think will be Jer's endgame? I don't know, Brandy. Everybody keeps asking that, and honestly, I keep asking myself that too. I think it's honestly going to be somebody that we don't know. I really think it's gonna be like a random person that we do not know, because a lot of people are saying Denise. I don't see it. I do not. I like Denise's character. I do not see them working. Like, I think she is way too like mature and hyper focused on work, and just I see them really being good as friends, but I don't see like a relationship. I think she would get so sick of him like so fast. A lot of people were saying Redbird. I honestly could see that, and at one point I was like kind of open to it, but at the same time, I don't like Redbird. I think he's so obnoxious, and I know he's supposed to be. Like, he's supposed to be the loudmouth, annoying friend. I don't want him with Jeremiah because I don't see how the two of them could help each other grow. I think they would just make each other worse. So I don't want him with Redbird either. And then it's like you start like kind of clicking off all the people. Like, I just don't see anybody that we know that would work with him, that I would be happy and like yay to see them as endgame. If Cam Cameron comes back for anybody, I'm 100% on board. I love Cam Cameron. I love Cam Cameron so much. And actually, there were some cute moments with Cam Cameron and Jeremiah in the first season, like when they're singing the Grease karaoke and stuff. Like, they were adorable. Cam Cameron, that's who I want, Brandy. I want, I want Cam Cameron to come back and swoop Jeremiah off his feet. That's what I want. I want Conrad and Taylor to become friends. I think they will. I think that Conrad and Taylor are a lot more alike than they realize. And I think that now that Taylor has come around to realizing like how intense their love is, and after Conrad proves that like he is fully into it, I think she'll be supportive of it and they'll be friends. I saw them film a scene in Wilmington, and it was much calmer than the late scene Taylor in Wilmington, and it was much calmer than the probably last scene Taylor and Conrad had. Yeah, I think they'll definitely come around to each other. Last, yeah. How do you feel about Steven and Denise's kiss being rushed? Oh my god. If you watched my reaction, I literally laughed. Like, I laughed out loud because what this is what got me. They kiss and they have Denise literally say, "Well, now that that's over with." Well, now that we got that over with, and I was like, "Oh my god." They actually even had the characters say, like, "Now that we know this is leading up to all this. We know for like the past 8 episodes we've been making you believe that Taylor and Steve or Denise and Steven were gonna be a thing." And then they kiss. Well, now that that's over with, um I'm not gonna lie, it kind of irritated me a little bit, but a lot of things in this season irritated me, so I think at this point, I just expect, like, ridiculous things to be in the episodes, and I'm just like, "Whatever," at this point. But I feel like they wasted a lot of our time. I feel like they wasted a lot of our time. I feel like it was funny at the same time where they both were kinda like, "Yeah, no, this isn't gonna work." Like, no, neither of us feel anything. And they are right, because if you think about it, one of the things that I brought up was they're trying to get into business together. They're quite literally going to blow up their careers and leave to go start something different with each other, and if they start a relationship with each other on top of that, that is just asking for trouble. So I get why they did it. And obviously, they only have a short amount of time to do with what they can. So I understand it. It was frustrating. It was a little frustrating. The chemistry between Conrad and Belly, it's so magical, and I don't know how to describe it. It's so beautiful, like just love. But Jer and Belly, I can't see it. It's just they give me friendship vibes. I think we can't see it because they quite literally did not show us. Like there are some very beautiful, sweet moments with Belly and Jeremiah, but they are just moments. We didn't see any of their 4-year relationship at all. And then by the time we got to, they were having all their problems. So I think they intentionally did that, obviously, because we know that Bonrad's going to be endgame. So they don't want that focus on them. They want it on Bonrad. I will say that there are a lot of sweet moments in season 2 when Conrad and Belly are actually dating. You can see the like glitter in their eyes of just like looking at each other and just being like, oh, like swoony. It is like a very magical kind of a passion between the two of them, and it does feel cozy. It's just that they have not quite worked out the other side of things. So you can't just solely thrive on like the cozy magic. You have to make everything as a whole work. And I think they're getting to that. I don't see Denise either. Yeah, I just a lot of people, I think it's common to just like pick people out that we know and kind of throw them together. So it makes sense that a lot of people are saying Denise. I don't see it. I can see Redbird being a rebound and not an endgame. I don't think he would be a rebound only because they are really good friends. They are like really, really good friends. And not that friends don't hook up with each other. I mean, if you've had a friend circle before, I'm sure somebody within there hooked up with somebody. But like with Redbird, they also were emphasizing that Blake, who was Jeremiah's ex, which I found interesting because they mentioned like Blake in season 2 and them going to prom together, but I didn't think it was his ex. So I don't know. But anyway, they mentioned that Redbird had claim over Blake. So if Jeremiah hooked up with Red or if Jeremiah hooked up with Blake and then Blake is now hooking up with Redbird, and then Redbird immediately after went and hooked up with Jeremiah, that's a messy friend group, which we do know they're messy, so maybe it'll happen, but no, not Redbird. Redbird creeps me out. I think Redbird creeps everybody out. Which is hysterical because if you go on TikTok, the actor for Redbird has a TikTok and he's so adorable and he's really cute. He's really, really good looking. And it's just like the mustache man. He looks so creepy with the mustache. And I think that's intentional. Like he's supposed to be the bonehead, idiotic, stupid friend that says stupid things and gets everybody annoyed, right? So it makes sense. Okay, wait, Jarrett and Belly friends. I forgot her name. Maybe Annika? Is that who you're talking about? Jarrett and Belly's friends. I forgot her name. Maybe. Are you? Do you mean Annika, Belly's roommate? What is happening with Annika? I like Annika's character so much. Again, season three, the writing. Annika's character is so good. I loved their friendship. She gave fantastic advice. Then she was like in the bachelorette party, was never seen again. Was in this last episode for 5 seconds with a toothbrush, never seen during the whole wedding thing. Wasn't even at the rehearsal dinner as far as I know. Why, like, what are they doing to my girl Annika? I can't see Jared and Annika being together. We've never even, like, had them interact, I don't think. Jared and Lacey Barone endgame. I highly doubt that they would make let me take that back. I am a firm believer. I'm gonna be the stereotypical Jelly fan right now. Jeremiah, a character assassination was littered throughout this whole season. So you know what, Mid? I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they made Lacey and Jeremiah endgame. Realistically, no, I don't think they would. That would be bad news. He also, you could see that, like, in my opinion, he did not have an emotional connection to Lacey. Lacey was a rebound. Lacey was just like something that he did to bring up his spirits and stop feeling so cruddy. So there's like no friendship there with them. There's no connection there with them. We haven't even seen her since. She was just purely like a plot device for them. So yeah, I don't see that happening. And Blake kept calling him Jerbear. Did he? I didn't notice that. Hi, Ellie. Ellie's back. Yes, yes, she is so beautiful. I don't like season 2, but season 3, it's everything. See, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, because you're a Bonrad, I'm not kidding. I will never watch season 3 again. I was just saying this to somebody in the comments. They brought up how rewatchable this season is because of the last episode, because we find out so much. We realize that Jeremiah knew about Christmas and everything. So it makes the first half of the season, or the first episode 1 through 7, so rewatchable, because knowing this and confirming that, you can really study like how Jeremiah is. And I've pointed this out in my reactions, the way he's looking at Conrad, the way he looks at Belly, observing things, like how certain situations play out. It's very rewatchable because you know this information now. Personally, I am never going to rewatch this season. I thought that the writing was nothing like seasons 1 and 2, that there were so many issues with so many different things. They took so much from the books that were positives for Jeremiah and applied them to Conrad, and then made up all this stuff for Jeremiah that was just negative, and it's just not for me. It wasn't a bad season, but it was a struggle to get through. I just think that the nothing's gonna beat the first season for me. The first season is perfect, and the second season was very, very good in my opinion. But I also get, like, as a Bonrad, it wasn't fun for you guys. So no, please, no more exes. A new person. That's what I want too. A new person, please, for Jerry. Deserves someone new with no baggage. If not that, he should just be single and be in peace. Yeah, that's what I'm going with too. I agree. I think that having all of these connections to each other, it makes sense because they're younger, they were teenagers, they were in this tiny little town of cousins, and it was summer, and everybody knew each other kind of thing. We're adults now. We're in our early 20s going into our mid 20s. Like, we need to move away from that, find someone else, have a different experience, and be single in peace. Yeah. I think he should be alone or be with Jake. I mean Blake. Blake. Blake didn't like we didn't get too much of Blake. We got like a very, very small bit when they arrived for the bachelor party. We got a very, very small bit um when they like came in the last episode. I didn't get enough from Blake to really have an opinion on whether I liked him or not. But he also didn't, like, grab me. He just but, like, that's unfair to say because he had, like, 2 lines. So, I can't ship him with Blake because I don't know Blake. We'll say that. Like, I don't there's nothing there for me to be like, "Yeah. Okay, just single." Did you read the books? Yeah, I read all 3 of them. I have the audiobooks too, so I keep going kind of, like, back and forth and referencing things, to kind of, like, refresh my memory with certain situations. It's really hard. 'Cause I listened to the 3rd book before I watched this last season, and I still was, like, shaky on things because they go back and forth so much with so many different things. Like, certain things are spot on, and then other things they completely change, and then other things they totally make up. So, I had to keep, like, going back and forth, but I have read all of them. Okay, wait, your team Cole or Alex? I just want to know. I have to rewatch it. I have to rewatch it. I don't know. I honestly cannot even remember which one is which. Because 'cause you're talking about My Life with the Walter Boys, right? Um, if I'm not mistaken, that came out, like, 2 years ago? And I watched it and I did like it. I thought it was very cheesy. I think I watched it because the summer I turned pretty. I was like, I need something like that. And I did enjoy it, but it was like painfully cringy, but it was still like really, really addictive. I'm not kidding. I think I marathoned the whole thing in like 2 or 3 days. And I don't remember. I really don't remember anything from it because it was so long ago and I watched so many things. So I have to rewatch it, and I know that the 2nd season just came out. I was gonna react to it, but it's 10 episodes. It's a lot, and I have a lot of reaction requests. So I think I'm just gonna watch it on my own. But I'll let you know once I rewatch it. I was, watching a video of somebody talking about it though, and they were saying that it's interesting that a lot of people who are team Jeremiah for The Summer I Turned Pretty are team whoever for My Life with the Walter Boys, and that character is deemed to be very much so like Conrad. So I'm curious to see what I think. Blake seems like a nice person, unlike Redbird. But that's not saying much, is it? Like, I like this cup a hell of a lot more than I like Redbird. Um, what makes the 2nd season hard for me is the sadness because of Susanna's death. Yeah. Even though I knew it was coming, it's just fresh and everything, it's touched by it. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that again, season 1 will always have my heart. That will always be my favorite. It will always be the one that I rewatch the most. Season 2 is very heavy and it is very emotional and it is very good, but because of how heavy it is, it probably won't be revisited as much as I would revisit season 1, so I agree with that. Redbird is just messy. Yes, he is. They should just remain friends. They are better as friends, I believe. I think so too. There is some compelling arguments for them being a couple or like Redbird liking him, but I don't think there is enough for me to believe that it actually is a thing. So I don't think it's going to happen. Still crazy that they managed to make a character that was second choice in every major relationship in his life was made out to be the villain. Yeah. So I mean, it. So there was a I try to answer as many comments as I can, and there was a comment that I was responding to yesterday. Lovely person, and they're hardcore Bonrad, and we've talked many times. Like I even know their name, like their username. I recognize it now because we've every single video they comment and I respond to it. And in the last episode, they said part of what they said was, I wanted the show to interrogate Jeremiah a little bit. I wanted them to have him acknowledge that there were other things going on. That way he could reflect on that. They brought up the book, saying, like, in the book, with Jeremiah and Belly having the argument that they had and ultimately ending things, he does acknowledge that there were other things happening in the relationship, and he takes credit for that. And it wasn't just Conrad, but that didn't happen in this episode, and they were like, I think it was a disservice to his character, and it kind of feels like the show just doesn't like Jeremiah and they're not interested in diving into it. And I was like, 100%. I was like, I am so excited to hear you say that you feel the show does not like Jeremiah, because I've been screaming it from the rooftops since episode 1. Like, finally, I like that I see some Bonrads coming around and sympathizing and realizing, like, okay, wait a second, like, I know that, like, a lot of hardcore team Jers are like villainization, character assassination, villainization, and I can see as a Bonrad how it would be hard to see that because we're perceiving different things in different ways. But for them to finally be like that, like, the book, he took responsibility. For the show, he didn't. Why did they not include that? Yes, 100%. Why do they not include that? Why do they keep villainizing it? Like, we're at the point now where we know that the wedding isn't going to happen. We know that Bonrad is going to be endgame. We know that Conrad is the one for her. So why aren't we showing that growth now? And it's just, again, one of the reasons why season 3 will not be revisited for me. Yeah, same. I don't like it, but Cole. Okay. Like, Cole is like Conrad and Alex is like Jer, but Alex Mel. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna I just it's I have so many I wanted to do this live stream, but I have so many reactions that I need to do for Patreon that I almost was like, maybe I won't, but I really, really like talking to everybody and I wanted to do it. And then the trailer came out and I was like, now I have to do it. But I have so many reactions to do. So I just don't know when I will have time to watch it, but I will try to do my best to watch it before The Summer I Turned Pretty ends, so that way we can mention it in the live stream again. But sadly, that is how villains are made sometimes in life. It is the fault of the parents. Yeah, my thing is, like, they didn't have to make him a villain because in the book, obviously he does some very villain-like things and things that are manipulative and things that are just, like, annoying. He definitely does things like that in the books. In the show, they took that and emphasized it tenfold. So in my opinion, it was like, yeah, in the books, Jeremiah is the villain, but then why did you make him like a serial murderer in the show? I think that's it. Was like the way they like upped the ante in the show was just like I don't think that was necessary, but I do agree that a lot of it is because of Adam. Are you team Cole or Alex? Angel, I was just saying I it's been so long. It's been over 2 years I think since the first season dropped and I can't even remember anything about it. So I'm going to have to rewatch it and then watch season 2 and I'll let you guys know. I want to see Agnes again too, Ellie. Where the heck is Agnes? But I know we're never going to see her again. I don't know. She's just so pretty and I love her character. She's awesome. I really liked her character. I really loved Agnes. I don't know. Are we never going to see her again? Because I think that Conrad's going to go back to California and maybe debrief her on everything that happened. And I would love to hear that conversation because I know that Agnes is very opinionated and she will not hold back from Conrad and really, give some good advice and tell him what she thinks. So I feel like we might see Agnes one more time. Plus, we also have to remember that Agnes is the one that hooked him up with the job, right? Put in the good word for him at least. So theoretically, if that job is still available, which we have heard nothing about, I was thinking like he ditched it. It's not happening. But someone said, well, maybe it was like after summer. Like he got the job opportunity and they were like, you'll start after summer, which obviously now it's after summer. Considering we're going to take a time jump, maybe he will get set up with that job. And then that's where we'll get Agnes in. Are you team Damon or Stefan? Isn't it Stefan? You said Steven Stefan. I haven't watched that either. So, oh god, I dated somebody when I was 20, 20 to 22-ish. So, years ago, years and years and years and years ago, and they really liked Vampire Diaries. And I remember watching like the first half of the season with them and I remember liking it, but for some reason we never stuck with it and I don't remember anything from it and I have not gone back to it. I do want to see that. I do know it's very long. I've also heard that if I'm frustrated with the Summer I Turned Pretty fandom, that I will despise the Vampire Diaries fandom. I've heard that they are like the cruelest fandom to have ever fandomed. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried. Like I'm a little nervous to get into it because I'm like, I love, love, love this show and I love the fandom that partakes in the positives, like you guys talking and being able to have like a civil conversation. But some of these people I've done YouTube for 4 years now, and never in my life have I ever had as many issues with something as I've had with this show. I actually just blocked somebody on the last episode reaction because they were commenting how I'm very red flag, that they worry for my partner, that my partner must regret things or must are going to I can't remember how they worded it. I hope your partner doesn't regret anything with you in the future. They need to seek therapy. It was like it was wild. It was wild and I shouldn't have engaged, but I responded and I was like, it's really upsetting that the show has to put out anti-bullying statements and things saying don't involve people's real lives for the actors, and that should also apply to the fans, and you were, like, quite literally the reason why they have to do this. I was like, "Don't bring people's personal lives up," and they were like, "Oh, why? Did I strike a nerve?" Like, it was really bad. It was really bad. They were saying, like, they were just ranting, though. There was something definitely wrong with them because then they started ranting about like, it was like a series of comments. They started saying, like, how people who like The Notebook are red flags and are gross because it's about cheating and you shouldn't romanticize cheating, and I blocked them. I blocked them, and I was like, "I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this." I feel bad in episode 8, I just want to hug him. Not sure we will see Agnes, I'll be surprised if we do. Yeah, I don't know, I hope we do. I think we will. I didn't get the Damon love. Seven's right. I don't know what that means, seven's right. Again, Jessie, don't dare me requesting. Do you watch any other reaction pages? And if so, any you would recommend? My Lipman's test for show is Summer I Turn Pretty, and movies is Dune. I've never watched Dune yet. Dune the movie. What was it? Demon Trash is my favorite. I think Demon Trash. Yeah, Demon Trash is my favorite. They're really, really good for the Summer I Turned Pretty. Ellie, wasn't it you that was talking about the Pink Popcast? I really like them, and they just posted the entire first season of the Summer I Turned Pretty. They edited it down to like 45 minutes, and I really like that. That was really good. I haven't really watched any others. You guys gave me a list, and I haven't watched them yet. There is, I think his name is Trophy Reacts. He gets his out really fast. Like really, really, really fast. Like I will be done watching by 7:30, 8, and start editing, and I'll take a break before I start editing, and he already has his out. He I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He's good, but what I've noticed, if you watch, like, from the beginning with him, he is very much so team Jeremiah, and then as soon as he starts mentioning how aware he is that a lot of people don't like team Jeremiah, he, like, shifts. And I'm not judging, but it appeared to me as if he was doing that because he realized that a lot of people were team Conrad, and then ever since then, he just, like, slams Jeremiah. So for Bonrads that like that, you might wanna go watch Trophy Reacts. But, he, like, slams Jeremiah sometimes to the point where, like, even he himself, after he says things, is like, "No, I'm sorry." Like, that was too far. But, like, I like him, but at the same time, I find myself being like, a lot of the times. They need family therapy for sure. Favorite movie and your favorite series? Oh, that's a hard question. That's a hard question. One of my favorite movies ever is probably one that no one in here has ever seen. It's called Empire Records. It's a 90s movie, and, it's about a bunch of teens that work at a record store, and it's really weird, and it's really funny, and I absolutely adore it. I can watch that movie 1,000 times in a row and never get bored of it. Um I feel like it would be easier to ask by genre because I like so many movies. I like so many movies. Um, 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 I don't know. I'm like blanking right now. I'm a horror movie freak. I love the Evil Dead series. That's one of my favorites. Musicals are a big part of my life. Rent is one of my favorite movie musicals. TV series, How I Met Your Mother, Gilmore Girls, The New Girl is, like, ones that I revisit frequently. There's so many, so many. Oh my god, I saw that comment, I thought it was such a strange thing to say to someone because of a show. Yeah, like, I don't know if you saw all of them, there were, like, 3 or 4 that, like, they just kept going, and it was like, again, I was like, I'm just gonna" you can't engage with people like that, that's the problem, and I try at first because it's like, I feel like sometimes you get people that are like the keyboard warriors that say something that they shouldn't, and then when you get when you respond and they see that you're like a real person actually acknowledging their comment and responding, because I feel like sometimes a lot of people don't even expect to get a response. I have had that happen before where like someone has said something not like too crazy, but enough to be like, that wasn't nice. And I'll respond to them and then we'll end up having a great conversation and it's fine. So I did engage and then I was like, this person isn't that person to do it with. And I deleted it. It was, like, really bad. Because again, they started going off on, like, if you like The Notebook, you're a red flag, and that's a woman who cheated on her husband, and that's idolizing cheating, and if your opinion is to support the characters in The Notebook, then you are a red flag person because those opinions reflect your opinions in your real life, and I'm like, "No, they don't." No, they don't. I was like, you're allowed to watch a story and watch content and have an opinion on the content and the characters that are making decisions for the situations going on in the show. Like that doesn't reflect on you or what you do. Because one of the things that I say is I never would have forgave Jeremiah. So many people are like, oh, so like you would have forgiven Jeremiah like Belly did, and I'm like, no. I would 100% would not have. I would not have forgiven him. I would have been really upset. I would have taken a lot more time than she did, but I'm not Belly. I'm not Belly. Belly forgave him. We move on. They have only done it when it's about Gavin. They should have done it in season 2. They have only done it when it's about Gavin. They should have done it in season 2. Um, they didn't ever specifically say it was about Gavin. They never specifically said it was about Gavin. They just put it out before the show even started. And then they did another one where it was before this last was it before this last episode or the one before that? Where there was like the summer everybody started acting normal on the internet or something or on social media or something like that. Because I had mentioned and I can't remember. Everything's a blur. Was it the last episode or the one before? I think it was the last episode. People were making yeah, it was the last episode. People were making edits of Conrad doing things to Belly on the beach because she like put him down on the beach. People were like literally making video edits of like Conrad choking Belly and like body slamming her. And that's insane. So they had to put out a thing about how that's inappropriate, which is sad that we have to acknowledge that. My thing is, like, I don't think they had to do it in season 2 because the story was building, and season 2 was also so different from the books. They knew that there was gonna be hate for season 3 because everybody knew, or most people at least knew what was coming in the books. Most people knew that. And, I didn't see a lot of hate in season 2, to be honest with you. And I feel like they shouldn't have to put it out. It's sad that they have to put it out. Just need to see how the show mends the brothers' relationship, because how do you realistically come back from that? I know that's a big thing for me. Like, I wanna see that. I wanna see that, and a lot of people in my comments were like, "We don't care." A lot of people in my comments were like, I literally could care less if Jeremiah and Conrad ever mend their relationship. And I was like, oh my God, that's so important to me. They're brothers, they're siblings, they're family, they need each other. And it's not like they were horrible before. They were good. The 3 of them, Steven, Jeremiah, and Conrad, were brothers. They hung out all the time. They grew up together. Like they were good. So I want to see that too. Jelly said they gonna ring ice and send Jenny. Okay, let's not say things like that. I know that you're reiterating somebody's comment, but don't say that. Try to use different language. Yeah, and that's not appropriate, Nat. That is not appropriate, and that's horribly awful, and people shouldn't be saying things like that. That's the whole point. It's not a tit for tat. It's not like, well, Bonrads did this, but Jeremiah and Jellies did this. That shouldn't be a thing. Nobody should be doing things like that. it is a show, and it's disgusting when people do things like that. I find it really interesting when people say, like, "This situation happened," and instead of somebody saying, "Yeah, that's not right," they say, "Well, this person did that." That's not the response that you should have. I love real-time reactions to the Summer I Turned Pretty. Is that the one with the group of guys? If it's the group of guy I have seen them in the beginning of the series, and I like them. I love Demon Trash, Reek Time, and Watch What Happens Next. Watch What Happens Next is one of the suggestions, and I did like them. Oh, just Rizzo got a Bonrad shirt and Benji got a Jelly shirt. I'm gonna have to subscribe to them, man. I need to see. I loved their first season. The first season overall reaction, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so good. Do you love K-drama shows? I have watched some and I do really enjoy them. Only Friends was my favorite. I got a lot of Patreon requests for K-drama shows, and Only Friends was my favorite. I really like that one. Seen it. Real Time is good because 2 are Team Conrad and 1 is Team Jared. Super funny. See, I like that, like a group setting or a group reaction where you have that diversity. I love that because you get to see, you know, both sides. Trophy Reacts is not my favorite because his reactions are usually not accurate to the show. That's a good point too. They're not. He's funny, but it feels forced for this show specifically. Exactly. He lacks context or something. I don't know. Yeah, Regina, he said something. What did he say? It was so I was like, I can't remember what it was, but there was something that happened. It wasn't this past one. Was it this past one? Oh my god, I can't remember. This whole week is a blur for me. Taylor messed up my mind. He said something at the end of the episode and was like, "When did that happen?" And I'm like immediately in the beginning of the episode. I forget what it was, but I was like, they literally like it was something there was like no way he could have missed it. And he did, and I was just like, "What?" Trevor Reacts shifted from season 3, episode 1, like many Jeremiah fans since cheating in this season. Jeremiah definitely has been a little annoying, not gonna lie. No, I'm not gonna deny that a lot of people from Team Jelly switched to Team Bonrad. It's just specifically with him, you could tell the way he was saying things and the way he was talking and like the jokes that he makes. He's definitely doing it for views. And I'm not criticizing him. He gets the views, good for him. But like I think he's putting on a bit of an act. I don't think it's as intense as he's making it seem. Have you seen Schitt's Creek? It's the best. Yes, I do like Schitt's Creek. I actually never finished it. It's Rex Manning Day. Brandy, you know. Yes, I'm so happy that somebody in here knows. Oh, it's such a good movie. Such a good movie. Schitt's Creek, I did not finish yet. I have the last season. I just saw the first comment. It's good the person is blocked then. Yeah, I don't have energy for that. I again, if you want to engage in a nice conversation and you have an opposing opinion to me, that's fine. Do not bring my personal life into it. Don't bring my personal life. Don't bring my partner into it. Don't say things about me that you know nothing about. We can dissect these characters all day because are both seeing the same things. Therefore, we could both have our own opinions. You've never seen my life. How do you even know that I have a partner? Like, it's creepy, to be honest with you. All my Team Jar friends have either switched to Conrad or decided they don't wanna watch the show anymore. Yeah, Alice, that's again, like and that's a big issue with me with season 3. You you flipped this character so significantly that people who loved the series are actually not watching it anymore. How is that something that you would want? Like, you as a content creator, as somebody putting out something into the world for people to enjoy, you destroyed this person so much that people stopped liking your content. And again, you can do whatever you want because it's yours. So if that's what you want to do, then fine. But the thing that gets me over and over again is they didn't have to go that far. They didn't have to. My biggest one, he sleeps with Lacey in the books once. They make it a point to say in the show that he did it twice. Why? Why? Why was that added in there? It's like, so you have people who didn't read the books being like, "Oh my god, what a piece of meh." And then you have book readers being like, why did you add that to be so much worse? So it's like it's almost insulting to the book readers because you fell in love with this character and now you're villainizing them. And it's like, I don't know. I just don't understand what the motive was. Everyone switched to Conrad and I'm here for it. Not everyone did because I did not. And I know a lot who haven't. They posted it before the cheating. That's why I wonder if people have tagged the main account as they posted it before the cheating. That's why I wonder people have tagged the main account as well, but they didn't do anything like what they said. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. They posted it before the cheating. That's why I wonder people have tagged the main account as well, but they didn't do anything like what they said. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I've always been Team Conrad, and it was a battle because everyone else was Team Jer. Yeah, see, Alice, like I think it's interesting how there are flip flops. I'm telling you right now, I sympathize with Conrad. I now that the wedding is over, understand that that is over and Bonrad is going to happen. I'm not just going to purely hate on it. I'm going to enjoy the ride. But I feel like a lot of people were Team Jer and understood Team Jer and understood Jer. And it's almost as if like that is non-existent now. Like people are pretending like nobody ever liked Jer. And I'm like, that's not what I saw. I heard about that, but I think I heard about that, but I think it's both sides. It is both sides. That's what I'm saying. It's both sides. Everybody, there's extreme fans on both sides. 100%. Elsie Fisher was I don't know who Elsie Fisher is. I see Jer edits in TikTok and they make him so scary. I feel so bad. Like, why? Yeah. I've also seen, I mean, again, if you're doing it in good fun, then like that's fine. It's a joke, it's fine. But I've have seen a lot of Jeremiah edits with like super negative things attached to it. And then like Conrad edits being portrayed as like you. Oh my god, what's his name in you? I'm totally spacing. That's another one I have to finish. Where they have like his voiceover of him like stalking Belly. That is clearly a joke and it is kind of funny, but like there are some really nasty ones out there. Since you're Team Jer, I feel like you're gonna be Team Stefan. If you watch the Vampire Diaries, I'm Team Damon. I'm aware he starts are really toxic at start, but I do love him. I don't know who is who, but I do like Ian Somerhalder from like other things. So I'm not saying like I would immediately like his character because of that, but I do like that actor. Both sides of teams have a toxic fan base. I literally saw on TikTok Jeremiah fans think Laurel wants Conrad. I've seen that for herself because she didn't approve of Jelly for the wedding till Conrad talked to her. That's like I've seen that too, and it's like, really, are we that's, like, again, like, the annoying part of this fandom of why I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I love the show. I'm kind of, like, not I'm gonna be sad that it's over. I'm also going to feel like a gigantic weight is lifted off my shoulders because some of these comments that I get, I'm just like, "Oh my god, guys, please." Like, There's so many things that are an issue with these characters. Let's not make things up. Like, please, can we not make things up? Like, somebody commented that Jeremiah wanted to is a jerk for specifically wanting to talk to Conrad himself and tell him that Belly and him were getting married. I was like, that never happened. Jeremiah quite literally says, "Should we pull him aside?" Belly says, "Yeah," and he goes, "Or make today about my mom," and she says, "Yeah," and they agree. Like, that never even happened. Someone else commented, Conrad, oh, I can't remember what it was. The heck was it? I can't remember. I can't even remember. It's just annoying. Like, no, Laurel does not want to bang Conrad. Like, that's gross. It's disgusting. Laurel is like a mother to Conrad. She always has been and quite literally is now because Susanna passed. Like, let's not make things up. We don't have to make things up. Only friends BL, right? BL? I don't know. Only friends. It was, I'm pretty sure it was a K drama. Um It came out about a year ago, a year and a half ago. It was really, really good. I don't know if another season ever happened, but I was obsessed with it. Did you see the trailer? What's your theories? Yeah, I put out a whole reaction right before this. I put out a whole reaction to the trailer. Oh my god. Help, who has seen people shipping Laurel and Conrad? So many. So many people. Like, it's weird. And like, that's the thing too. Like, my issue with Laurel and Conrad is that we've never once seen Laurel have a conversation with Belly about Conrad. We only ever see her consoling Conrad, asking Conrad how he's feeling, asking Conrad what he thinks. And it's just bizarre to me because I'm like, why have you never had this conversation with your own daughter? And someone in the comments was like, well, Conrad doesn't have anybody else really. Laurel and him have always had that special relationship, so it makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I agree with that part of it. But like, how in the world did Conrad and Belly date? And then Belly goes to date Jeremiah, and we never saw a conversation with Laurel and her being like, "You think this is a good idea?" Hey Belly, you were like really in love with Conrad. Should we maybe not date Jeremiah? Like, we never saw that conversation. But again, we had the 4-year time jump, so we didn't see a lot. It just, I don't know. I know that they had to do a time jump. I don't think it had to be as long as it was. And I know that like there was a lot to fill in these episodes, but I feel like they missed out on so many things. You can't generalize jellies or bonrads to any hate crime. Yeah. It is some who are just awful, and then the rest are here to enjoy this show to enjoy the show as a civilized society. That's a good point, Brandy. It's not a team Jelly saying this. It's not a team Bonrad saying this. It's an idiot. It's a stupid person. It's an inconsiderate person. It's an uncompassionate person saying these things. I don't want those types of people representing either team, to be honest with you, because those are not the ideals and values of that team. They're just jerks saying stupid shit, and they need to be not on the internet. I tried to edit this comment, it wouldn't let me. Most of us are just normal, happy, and healthy people who aren't going to be hateful over a show to other fans or the cast. Exactly. It's just like a flood of people who are so intense and they ruin it for everybody. I can't just get behind the Conrad character because his season 3 portrayal might be the most unrealistic depiction of a 23-year-old man I've ever seen. Honestly, I think a lot of things in this season were. A lot of things. It's like they wanted us to They wanted us to see growth with everyone, but they also didn't show the growth. And then they also kept having the characters remind us that there has been no growth, but then they also kept saying that they were growing. Yeah, all my friends were Team Jer, but now they switched. It's funny because one of my best friends, she was Team Jer, and she was Team Jer, and I was, like, so happy because obviously I was like, "Yes, I'm Team Jer too." And then when she started watching the 3rd season, she was like, "Oh my god, I never finished the 2nd season." So she had, like, 3 episodes maybe left, and while she was watching them, she started texting me all these things about how Jeremiah is insufferable, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And she was like, "I'm so Team Conrad," and I was like, "Dude, you were not. You were Team Jeremiah." And she's like, "Was I?" I was like, "Yes! What are you talking about?" So, like, was your viewpoint skewed because of the things you've been seeing? Like, what do you were, like, hardcore Jeremiah, and they, like, had no recollection of this. I was like, "You were." People were tagging them because they were hating on Chris and mocking his looks, which they said they won't stand for. Yeah, that's just stupid. Like, it's just dumb. They're real people. They are not Conrad and Jeremiah. From season 1 to season 3, always Team Con. Elsie Fisher played Sky. Okay. There is, yeah, I've seen I loved Sky. I thought Sky's character was an amazing, and Julia and Sky, amazing addition to season 2. The second book was painfully boring to me. I felt like it was a repeat of the first one with, like, slightly different situations. I thought it was really boring. And when I saw season 2 and then read the book. So when I saw season 2, I was like, "Oh my god, this is going to be such a great book." And then I read the book and I was like, "Oh." I was like, "None of this is in there." I thought they were a wonderful addition, but a lot of people, I guess, didn't like that. There's this one Team Conrad account which makes Jer edits, which are super funny, but they are making fun of him. Yeah, see, I don't mind the funny ones, but if you're, like, really going in and digging in hard, like, that's too far. She has gotten or got a lot of hate in season 2. That's sad. "Hey, I'm back. I have to leave for a few minutes to play a Taylor Swift quiz." Of course, go. To try to win money. Wait, what? I wanna play. Where are you playing these Taylor Swift quizzes for money? I do this for fun, Ellie. To try to win money update, I did not win. Oh, sorry. I got 2 out of 12 questions wrong. Wow. That's pretty good, though. Yeah, I've mentioned this in one of my previous reactions. I follow on TikTok a girl called Life with Brie, life dot with dot Brie, BRI. She is so amazing. She's a huge Swiftie. She has a huge Swiftie community, and they do trivia, they do Eras Tour rewatches, they have, like, a Discord where they talk about things, and, like, I've become friends with all of these people through her community, and it's, like, it's so much fun. She does so many awesome things with Taylor Swift. She does, like, it's always 11 PM, and I'm like, "Girl, I gotta go sleep," but I have stayed up very late before with her because they do, like, Easter egg hunting. So it'll be, like, 11 PM Easter egg hunting, and, like, they'll go through, like, the YouTube video. I pointed to my TV. The YouTube video of, Travis and her and the podcast with Jason. Like, she's so much fun. They do so much stuff. But the point of this is that they do tango, which is Tay Bingo, and they do trivia on Thursdays. And I played one of the trivia rounds with them, or a few. They are so freaking fast. It's insane. Like, I was getting every question right, but the timing also counted, and the speed. Like, I thought I was being fast. The speed in which they clicked was unbelievable. They were so fast. The TVD fandom was even worse. Ian hates his character and the Delana fans. Yeah, that's what I've heard, Nat, is that the fandom is worse. So like I'm not kidding, it makes me not want to watch the show. And that's what I also think is funny too, is that these fans that are so passionate about being so negative don't realize that they're actually pushing people away from not only enjoying the content, but supporting what they deem is their favorite show. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Jessie, did you see Tina's reaction for the recent episode? I didn't. I didn't see it yet. I didn't watch it. She's really funny. I will say she goes like really far sometimes though. Like she goes like really off the chain to the point where I'm like, all right, girl, take a break. There's fanfic of Laurel and Conrad. I'm sure there is. Oh my god, Tina's reactions are so funny. Yeah, all Laurel said was don't limit yourself. People said it may have been a time jump so Belly could go to Conrad's graduation. Didn't Conrad graduate already? I think Oh, like the original time jump, you mean at the beginning of the season? Conrad has had time to be alone and have time to himself. Belly hasn't. Yeah, Belly hasn't. Belly needs that. Brandy Elise they uses they them, just letting you know. Oh, so like in the show too. That's cool. What else have they been in? Have they been in anything else? Because I really did like that character. Loved Sky. I wanted them to come back. I did too. Why, like Sky, Cameron, and Aunt Julia? Why did they not come back? I mean, I guess like I can understand how they couldn't incorporate them into the first few episodes, but even just like the engagement and the wedding, they did reference like, "Oh, Aunt Julia's not going to be able to make it," and then dumbass Adam was like, "Oh, surprise!" But I just like they could have had them come to the wedding, but they didn't. I love Cameron so much. It's funny because people always ask me, "What are you?" and I say Team Jeremiah, but if I'm being honest, I'm Team Cameron. Oh, geez, Dad. My dad just texted the family chat, 2 dead after eating oysters, contracting flesh-eating bacteria. And now I just ruined all your nights by saying that. I don't even eat oysters, Dad. Thank you for that, though. Love you, Daddy. Looking out for me. Um, that's right. Thanks for the reminder. They were bullied. The app is called Sway. Is it like an app that you just go on and play, or is it like a site organizes it at like certain times or something? Because I'll play that shit all day. Someone made a fanfic of Jer and the two and the two-tier mirror glazed cake. Oh, that's great. You see, like I think that's funny. Like, I am Team Jer. I think that's hysterical. Like that's funny. It's stupid, but it's funny. Oh my god, Alice, what's it? Rate I may or may not read if it's PG. LOL. Ha ha ha. I don't know. I'll have to find it. I saw people commenting the name of the fanfic on TikToks. I actually prefer the originals over TVD, but I can watch it in peace. I've heard the originals is good too. Graduation from medical school. Yeah, I thought he graduated already. Elise was the little girl in Despicable Me. I've only seen the first one. I need to watch the other ones. Sky's actress was in the show Barry? Really? I watched that whole thing. Hmm. I watched Barry. But see, I watched Barry. Well, I guess I would have watched the last season of Barry had to have been after the last season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I must not have recognized them. I liked Barry. I am waiting for Tina's reaction for the latest trailer. Well, they didn't want to deal with Adam. No. It's a very good point. No one wants to deal with Adam. How does she go to Paris without telling her mom? Where does she stay? I don't know. I do not know. Cam went on a marine biology trip that took him to Jurassic Park. Yes, yes, he did. I think Conrad yeah, that's a good point. It's probably why he wasn't in it because he was doing Jurassic Park. Good for him. I think Conrad is only a first year in medical school. Oh, I thought that he is done. That's why he was doing the job with, Dr. Nurmazi. Because they were talking about first years normally not doing the internship thing. Oh, I didn't even catch that. An app on phones, you would love it once you get it. I will friend request you. I will share my name in private chat on Patreon. Okay, what is it called again? I gotta write it down, otherwise I'm never gonna remember. Ellie, can you just DM me the name of it? I lost it. I lost your comment. Oh, Sway. Okay. Sway. Sway. Thank you. Oh my god, I'm getting tired. It's 8:30. Who is Tina? So Tina is this woman who, I think it's her daughter, and I think you probably find him on YouTube, but it's specifically I've seen it on TikTok, where her daughter films her reacting and watching the Summer I Turned Pretty episodes, and she is hardcore Team Bonrad, and she like ridicules Jeremiah. To the point where like I've watched them and they're really funny, but she almost like again sometimes like what I was saying with Trophy reacts where like she goes so far sometimes to the point where I'm like I don't even want to finish this. Like it's so bad. She's really intense. But they've gained a lot of followers. They're really popular. They were Sally's co-star on her show Joplin. I don't know what that is. Yeah, they were saying he's right where he needs to be and he always has next year. Oh, okay. Tina calls Jar Jar Wonka. Yeah, I've heard her say that. She's like Jar Wonka with his Jar Wonka hat or something like that. Like again, some of it was really funny, but then like I got like halfway through and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a lot." Like she's funny, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to start to wrap things up. I'm getting tired. Oh my gosh. No, I'm so tired. I didn't even do a lot today. I'm getting like really, really tired. I do have to also I'm doing Lucifer. Does anybody on here watch Lucifer? I have to react to a bunch of episodes of Lucifer. So I'm doing that for Patreon. What do I have to do? I have a lot of things to do. And I don't feel like thinking about it. I'd rather just read it. Here we go. I have to do a ton of Assassination Classroom. I'm finishing the series. I have to do 2 episodes of Shadowhunters, 2 episodes of Paper Girls, 8 episodes of The Morning Show. I'm watching the movie Hidden Figures. I have to do 5 more episodes of Lucifer. Oh my god, I have so much to do. I have to do 7 episodes of 911 and then I have to watch the season finale of Killing Eve. And then after I do all of that, I will get to your reaction of Interview with the Vampire, Ellie. I am so sorry that I have that much crud to get through. Well, it's not crud. They're all like really, really good shows. That's the thing, it's a lot, but I actually love all of those shows. Have you heard Sabrina's new album? I have not, Alice. Um, I have heard Tears, and I watched the music video, and it was amazing. I was coincidentally up last night, and I should have been in bed, but I wasn't, and I got a notification for it on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, it's midnight." And I watched it, and I'm not kidding you, like, instantly fell in love. I remember when the first time I heard Espresso, I was like, "This is pretty good." And I love that song now. It's like an earworm, it gets to you. I was like, "This is pretty good," and then I really liked it. I'm not kidding, I am obsessed from the first chorus with that song. I just thought it was so good, and the music video is amazing. But I do have to listen to the rest of the album. You should watch Dune. Yeah, I really like Zendaya. I really like, the person whose name I can't remember. Why can't I remember his name? Who's the guy? I like him a lot, and I can't think of his name. That's how I know I'm tired. Timothy Chalamet. Thank you, Timothy. Timothy Chalamet. Um, but I haven't seen either movie. That's on HBO Max, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta put that on my list. I love the album. It's Def a Grower is gets better each listen. Yeah. I love Sabrina. I think she's great. I really like her content. I think that she's really funny. Um so I'm excited for this. And also, obviously, if you are a Swiftie, you know that she is featured on the Life of a Showgirl for Taylor Swift. So I'm like, what is that? Oh, sorry. I am really excited to hear the collab that they did because I think the two of them together is going to be really interesting. And so yeah, I'm really excited for that one. Dune 2 is better than Dune 1, not gonna lie. That's what I've heard. I've heard that Dune 2 is better. I've heard that the first one is a little slow, but obviously needed for like context of the story. But I've heard the second one is better. Yes, Taylor's album is just after my B-day, so it's a gift. Nice. That's awesome. One is one is so much world building, yeah. Yep, it's needed, and then Dune 2 is really good. Yeah, I heard that it's, like, a lot of world building, which honestly, I don't mind that. I don't mind when they take the time to do world building or character building if it's done in a good way. It's interesting, and it is needed, so I think I would enjoy it. What do you think about people saying that Jer planned the lazy thing because he knew about Christmas? I think that is such an interesting take. Oh, well, we'll take that as the last question because I do need to get off. But that is a really good question. So somebody brought that up in the comments, how they thought it was premeditated and that it was clearly planned because he found out about Christmas. Cater to the trailers. I will watch. I love your reactions. Thank you. Um, I 100% do not think that it was a planned thing because he knew about Christmas. In fact, I had the complete opposite reaction and was surprised when I heard people have that take. I can see what people are saying, but I legitimately was surprised because I am not kidding. I left that episode thinking, "Wow, this is really gonna bring the fandom together." I swear to God, I literally left the episode thinking like, "Wow, we got so many answers and so many things happen. This is, like, really gonna bring the fandom together because now we have answers," and it, like, for some people made it 1,000 times worse. And I was like, "Holy shit, like, my comments section is blowing up in a way I did not think it was going to." I think that I actually had something wrong too, and someone corrected me in the comments, which I appreciated. I thought they were saying that it happened during Christmas, and Jeremiah found out around Christmas and then held on to that until like April because it was spring break. But I was incorrect because somebody pointed out, he says, I just saw my dad last week when him and Belly are talking. Excuse me. I just saw my dad last week when him and Belly were talking. So he knew about it for about a week. In my opinion, he found out about this, realized that Belly had been lying for almost 5, 6 months, like half a year at this point, never once brought it up. So he is stewing, he is angry, he is jealous. Should he have confronted her about it? 100%. I do agree with that. I think he should have confronted her about it. Being that he didn't, we're going to play off of what he did. Stewed, got angry, got very jealous because obviously we know he's always jealous of Conrad. Picked the fight. And by pick the fight, I mean he picked it because he was already in the mind state of being jealous and angry and upset. I don't think he purposely picked the fight to break up with her to go to Cabo single. And I think that's where like a lot of the division comes between people. I agree that he went. I mean, Jeremiah agrees. He flat out says, she's like, that's why you picked the fight about Cabo. And he goes, yes, that's exactly why. And that struck up an argument. It spiraled into a breakup. And it spiraled into a breakup because during the argument, she brings up the inferiority complex. He brings up how, oh, I'm not like a medical student like Conrad. Conrad gets brought up, is in his head, triggers him even more while knowing about Christmas. And he says, well, why are you even with me? Let's just end it. And instead of Belly being like, that's crazy, she goes, fine, okay. And they break up. Then they do not speak for a week. Neither one of them texted or contacted each other. They do not speak for a week. He comes back and she goes to find him. That was one of the things. Somebody in my comment was like, he came crawling back after Cabo. And I was like, no, he didn't. That didn't happen. She came to him. And she even says something like, why didn't you come looking for me? And he was like, oh, what? Like, you could see he's surprised that she's there. And then they talk about everything. And he's like, so does this mean that we're getting back together? And she's like, we were never broken up. You could see the look on his face. He's like, wait, what? Like, we broke up. And then you agreed that we should break up, and then we didn't talk, and then I come back, and then you come find me, and you're like, "Why didn't you come find me? What's going on? Like, we were never broken up. Come on." You could see he's, like, in shock. So to me, I thought that finding out that he knew about Christmas 100% confirmed that he thought the breakup was real, that he was upset finding out that her and Conrad must have shared a moment, which is why she was lying about it, got triggered by Conrad being brought up in the argument, spiraled into a breakup. She was like, yeah, sure, fine, let's break up, confirming for him even more that something must have been happening or going on. And then when he got back, he was like, "Wait, what? Or you wanted me to come look for you? Like, wait, what? We're getting back together? Oh, wait, what? We were never broken up?" Like, that 100% confirmed to me that the breakup was real and that it was not premeditated. With that said, I acknowledge that I 100% think that he should have told her that he knew. I 100% think that he should have told her about Lacey. And I 100% think that there are things along the way that Jeremiah did poorly. But I also think that there are for Belly and Conrad too. So I am, like, shocked, to be completely honest with you. I was truly shocked to see that people had the take that knowing about Christmas meant that he purposely broke up with her to sleep with Lacey. I thought it was the complete opposite. I can see how they think that, but I was shocked to see that so many people think that. Yes, I'm Team Conrad, but I'm always watching your reactions. Thank you, Alice. By one by 1,000,000% say no way. Lacey wanted him bad, and he unfortunately was in a bad place in his head. Of course, that's just my opinion, LOL. That's true because we get I mean, obviously Jeremiah's at fault too because he said yes, but we do get the comment from Redbird where he's like, "Oh, she was all over you." Like she was all over you. We know that she liked him and we know that she was like trying to get with him. We also know that Jeremiah was very drunk. Is that an excuse? Again, no, but he was wasted. So you also have to think like again, people are like you give Jeremiah so much grace because I put myself in that mindset. I'm team Jeremiah, so I'm putting myself in his mindset. I'm putting myself in his shoes and I'm trying to understand him, which I think a lot of Bonrads don't do because they're putting themselves in Conrad's shoes and giving Conrad grace, trying to understand the things that he's doing. So I get it, but it's not that I'm excusing everything he's doing. I'm putting myself in the mindset of like I'm in love with this girl. I dated her for 4 years. I find out that she's been lying to me for a half a year about seeing my brother, who I know that she was in love with at one point. And now this is like a complete mindfuck for me because I'm already so jealous and have an inferiority complex based around him that the one thing that is good in my life is Belly and she makes me feel loved and I loved her. And now I don't feel like that might be the case anymore. And things get tense and we fight and we broke up. And now I'm getting wasted with my friends in Cabo. My 4-year relationship just ended. I'm spiraling. This gorgeous girl is all over me. And I'm going to have a rebound to see if it'll make me feel better because I feel like absolute hell. And then he says, "Yeah, I cried about it in the shower for an hour after." Like people have rebounds. That's what I thought was really interesting is that people were so surprised that that happened. I wasn't surprised. People are like, "Oh my god, they broke up for 1 week and he already slept with someone." Maybe I have very promiscuous friends. But, like, I've seen plenty of people do that. I know plenty of people. There's literally a saying, the one way to get over someone or one way to get over someone is to get under another one. I don't condone that. I don't think it's the best way, and I don't think it's the right way for everybody, but that is literally a saying for a reason. People do that. People have rebounds to get over other people or to mask their pain. And so I didn't think it was weird at all. I think he should have told her, but I didn't think it was crazy. I wonder why they changed it from Conrad telling Jared to just having him find out randomly. I wonder why they changed it from Conrad telling Jared to just having him find out randomly. What part are you talking about, Alice? Change it from Conrad telling Jared. What part are you talking about, Alice? I absolutely adore Jeremiah from the books, and I am so happy that he is no longer with Belly and can't wait for him to possibly get a happy ending in the TV show. I hope he gets a happy ending in the TV show. I really do. What I want to see is the two of them self reflecting, having a conversation after that, acknowledging that things didn't go right, and then being able to be friends. I know that that kind of like they're friends in the book, and Jeremiah had self-reflection with other aspects in the relationship during the breakup argument, like engagement break argument. We didn't see that in the show. So I hope that we get that and I hope that we do get a happy ending for him because why wouldn't you want to give that to him as a character? But I also would not be surprised if they don't, because they've done so many terrible things to his character this season that I wouldn't be surprised. I do not agree as well. Do not agree. You don't agree that he planned you. I do not agree as well. I don't know what I've talked too much. I didn't. You do not agree that he premeditated it, or you do not agree that people think that he I don't know what I'm even trying to say. Can you clarify? Not gonna lie, going for the first love team is always smart, because I don't know any other show that doesn't go with the first love. Yeah, and that's again, Alice, that's so funny. Like, so many people are like, ha ha ha, Bonrad's gonna be endgame. I'm like, no shit. Like, no shit. Just because I'm team Jeremiah, like, that doesn't mean that I lived in a fantasy bubble of thinking that they were going to end up together. Maybe they could have, but I think it was pretty obvious that it was going to be Bonrad. I like Jeremiah, and I like their relationship. A lot of other shows also don't completely obliterate the other character. Like, sometimes they just make it so it doesn't work, or they show that it didn't work. But the only well, see, I don't want to ruin anything, but I do know the only other show that I can think I mean, it's been out. The only other show that I can think of that or the only show that I can think of where a second love interest was made endgame is High School Musical, the musical, the series. And that is because Olivia Rodrigo was the main love interest and left the show because she is a huge superstar now. And she was like, what, barely, I think it was one episode she was in the final season. So I think it was pretty obvious that her, Nene, and Ricky were going to be endgame. But then she was like, I am going on world tours and I don't want to be in this anymore. So then she ended up leaving, and then they did the um second love story as endgame. Yes, she basically was the aggressor for getting back together and saying yes to the proposal before he was even done asking. He even says, I messed up real bad. No excuse at all, but does give a little more clarity. Team Jeremiah does not necessarily mean we wanted him with Belly. LOL, or at least I did. That's what I always say. I'm Team Jeremiah, not necessarily Jelly. I'll say Jelly because it's easier, but I'm team Jeremiah, not necessarily Jelly. I wouldn't say that Belly was the aggressor for accepting the proposal, but I do think this is the best way that I was talking to somebody in the comments, and this is the best way that I could put it. Because their question was, I don't like, or their, not their question, but their statement was, I don't like that Jeremiah was basically blaming Belly for accepting the proposal and making it like all her fault. I don't think that he was making it all her fault, but he does say you didn't have to say yes. My rebuttal to that is Jeremiah should have brought up that he knew about Christmas. Belly should have brought up that Christmas happened. They are both wrong for that. And I don't like doing tit for tats. But in my opinion, Jeremiah not bringing that up before proposing is in no comparison Belly not bringing up her feelings for Conrad and accepting that proposal. Jeremiah is wrong for not bringing it up. Belly is insane for accepting it. Like, that's my feelings on it. Where it's like she should not have said yes if she had that moment at Christmas and knew that something was still there. If it was like anybody else, I would also be more understanding of it, but that is his brother. It is somebody you're going to be seeing. It is somebody you're going to be around. It is somebody that directly affects his life and his family dynamic. So again, it's like Belly keeping the fact that she felt something during Christmas from Jeremiah and accepting the proposal is a billion times worse to me than Jeremiah keeping that he knew they saw each other and giving the proposal. The part where Jer finds out Belly was with Conrad at Christmas. Oh, I wonder why they changed it from Conrad telling Jared to Jared. Okay, because in the books, Conrad tells Jared that they were together at Christmas. I think maybe just because of I have to read that part again. I actually don't remember that. Is that what happens? See what I mean? Like I listened to the entire audiobook. I don't remember that part. It's just I think my brain flip-flopping back and forth so much and then, like, watching 50 other shows is, like I don't remember that part. I'll have to listen to that again. Probably just because of pacing, probably just because they had so many, like, rivalry, aggressive Conrad Jeremiah scenes that just would have been another one, like, another fuel to the fire, maybe. I think we can all agree that Belly is the queen of denial. And one thing that Jer, I think, should have taken into that relationship was always question her reasoning. Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, even like the biggest thing for me during the engagement breakup was she was fighting for the wedding to still happen. That was one of the other reasons I was thinking that a lot of Bonrads would be praising a little bit Jeremiah for where she like kept saying like she even says I can see right now that if I ask him to marry me, he will still do it. Like, that is a thought that crossed her mind. She was fighting hard for that marriage, and he was like, "No, we can't do this. We cannot do this. Like, let go of my hand. I need to go. You're breaking my heart. This is horrible." She is 100% queen of denial. She's gonna work on it, though. Glad this wedding plot is over. It was getting tiring. The whole season has been tiring for me, I'm not gonna lie. And is she being for real with things? Yes. Jane the Virgin, that was a good show. Jane the Virgin, yes, you're right. Jane the Virgin as well. Jane the Virgin as well, though, but there's reasons for that. I feel like there's pretty significant reasons for that. But yeah, that was a very, very good show. I love that show. Dawson's Creek. Oh, that's true. You know what's funny? I started watching Dawson's Creek because I've seen episodes of it, but I've never seen the series in its entirety. However, I do know, like, obviously Joey was supposed to go with Dawson, but then Pacey comes into the mix. And so I do like know that, but I don't know a lot about Dawson's Creek. I'm at the very end of season 1. And I do like it. It's so old. I can't believe like I say it's so old and it was on when I was in high school. But it is like the quality of it. I'm just like, holy shit. Yeah, I do not agree that it was premeditated. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it was either. I was really shocked. And again, I try to always put myself in that position or in those people's shoes and think like, how do they see it this way? Or why do they see it this way? What are they seeing that I'm not? And I can see why people would think that. But I think a big part of it has to do with like most Team Bonrads are very anti-Jer with specific things, and most Team Jers are very anti-Conrad with specific things. And those specific things cloud the judgment of how they see other things. So it's like I feel like maybe a lot of Bonrads are looking at it like I still don't think Jeremiah cheated. I think that a lot of Bonrads still consider that Jeremiah cheated, and therefore, since that is in there, they feel like it's premeditated. It's like you first have to agree on this before you can get to this. And I think that's where like a lot of the difficult conversations come in. Hey, I'm back. Yeah, Ellie, I didn't leave yet. I said I was gonna leave like 20 minutes ago. I didn't. Hey, I'm back. I had to leave again because I was in the car going home. I'm home now. Because if she admitted Christmas, it would prove that she still had feelings for Conrad, and I don't think Jeremiah didn't want to face that either. I agree with that. Yeah, but that's the whole point. Is like I don't think Jeremiah wanted to bring up Christmas because he was afraid of the answer. And I don't think she wanted to bring up Christmas because she was afraid of the conversation. But the point is that she shouldn't have accepted the the proposal if she was afraid of that. Now, in defense of Jeremiah, again, I do think he should have brought it up to her before the proposal. But the way I saw it was, so I had just explained how I felt about everything. He was angry, spiraled for a week, had the fight, broke up. The comments about Comrade were made. He thought the relationship was over, slept with Lacey, came back. That happened. They got back together. Lacey came out. I think everything along that way, up into the proposal, made him realize, okay, I don't have to worry about Christmas. I was so worried about Christmas because I was so worried that something was going on with Conrad and Belly, but all of this stuff just proved to me that there isn't, because she found me after Cabo. She wanted to get back together. In fact, she even said we were never broken up. She like never brought up Conrad again. Like there are all these signs and all these things. Then the Lacey situation happened. She got upset about it, but she still accepted my apology. We were still able to move past it. I think at that point, he didn't bring up Christmas before the proposal because he wasn't worried about Christmas anymore. He wasn't worried about Christmas anymore. It wasn't a concern for him. He still should have brought it up, but it wasn't a concern for him anymore. So now you have the proposal. She accepts it. Conrad comes back, and then he sees the two of them together and he's like, "Oh shit. Okay, maybe I did have to worry about Christmas. This wasn't good." That's why I think he blames Belly for the blames. I don't think he's blaming her. I think he's just pointing it out. But a lot of people are saying he blamed Belly. That's why I think he blamed Belly for accepting the proposal, because at the time of the proposal, he was not worried about Christmas anymore. And then I'll even go as far as saying this. If he did, let's live in an alternate world, okay? Oh, I'm really gonna have to go. I'm out of water. Let's live in an alternate universe for a second. Jeremiah does bring up Christmas before the proposal. What do you think Belly's reaction would have been? Like, honestly, let's be honest about this. Jeremiah brings up that he knows that Belly and Conrad spent time together at Christmas. What do you think her reaction would have been? She would have denied it. She would have said it meant nothing. She would have said it's not a big deal. She would have said there was no moment. She would have lied. She 100% would have lied. I don't think that she would have said anything else. And I feel like the conversation that they, or the argument that they have before they end the engagement proves that. Because again, she is fighting tooth and nail to have the wedding go on. Jeremiah's like, you had a moment. No, we didn't. There are feelings involved. No, there aren't. You want to be with Conrad. No, I don't. Like, yeah, denial, 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 denial. Even up to that point when it finally does come out, it's denial, denial, denial. So I don't think that even if Jeremiah did bring it up before the proposal, it would have changed anything. I don't think it would have. Yeah, in the book, Conrad tells Jared thinking Belly already told him. Oh, that's interesting. I don't remember that part. Belly and Jer were absolutely codependent. I think neither of them wanted to rock the boat because they didn't truly know what to do without each other, even though they both knew. 100%. Because Belly even says, we're so bonded. We are so together. I don't even know where I begin and you end, or something, or I don't even know where I end and you begin. Something along the lines of that, indicating they are 100% codependent. She was in denial. Yeah, she was definitely in denial. But that's what I'm trying to say, like, she was in denial, but she also knew that she still had that feeling in her. She was maybe in denial of, like, how intense the feeling was, but the feeling was still there. So if Jeremiah is gonna get criticism for not bringing up that he knew the secret, Belly was 100% also responsible for not bringing up that there was a feeling or was a moment. Oh my god, my words keep fixing the wrong things. Please excuse my horrible grammar. It's fine. I do that all the time when I'm texting and typing. Wolf, aka Operation Stealth Howling Wolf. No, what? Number 6 months, aka. What the heck is going? Self Howling Wolf number one Coogie Laura. No, what in the hell was that? Because if she admitted Christmas, it would prove that she still had feelings for Conrad, and I don't think Jeremiah didn't want to pace that either. Yeah. She was in denial. I think we can all agree that Belly is the queen of denial. Did I read that already? Yeah. And going queen of denial and gone thing that what's the question or reasoning? I think a bot is here. Okay, yeah. I was like, didn't I already read that? And that wasn't your comment. Hide user, go away. I would not have guessed that you were in high school when Dawson's Creek was on. Yeah, I am. I was. Thank you. Why do I look younger? Great skin. Oh, thank you. Great skincare routine. It's also like the airbrushing they do on YouTube a little bit. I've noticed that certain cameras like automatically airbrush. But thank you. I too was in high school then. LOL. Not I preferred the show Felicity and her wacky antics. And the OG. Oh my god, I was obsessed with Roswell. Felicity was another one that I caught episodes of, but I didn't quite watch all the way through, and a lot of people recommend that to me. A lot of people recommend Felicity. I have to do Felicity too. Yeah, it was funny. I got into a conversation, what was it? Young Royals. Um, and somebody was like arguing with me and they were like, "Listen, you're just way too young to understand this." And I was like, "Thanks, but I'm 36." Like, I unfortunately am not too young. I am a 36-year-old grown woman in a 5-year committed relationship. So I think I pretty much understand a lot, but thank you for thinking I'm young. He said he knew Conrad liked her all summer. That means when he was all with Belly, he knew. Her having to hide the infinity necklace isn't a good sign either. Denial would be her reaction. He said he knew Conrad liked her all through summer after they got proposed. So again, like it was a slow build over time, but he was acknowledging things. When Conrad took her out to do the wedding stuff and he got back and she was like, Conrad took me out. He was like, "Oh, you catch him, like do a little look." Then he kind of like encouraged her, like, "Oh, you should totally stay at Cousins," because he wanted to see how they would react to each other how they would react being around each other. Somebody in the comments was like, "Yeah, that's super manipulative." I can see how you would think it would be manipulative. Maybe it is a little bit, but at the same time, when you have two people like Belly and Conrad that will not admit their feelings for each other, what else are you supposed to do? Because his only alternative is like, I could throw them together and see how they react in this situation, or I can walk away from the relationship. He's not going to walk away from the relationship. He's in love with Belly. He's fighting for the relationship. So he's going to do things like putting them together, like seeing how they react, because that's the only way he's going to get an answer. So it's like, if you want to call that testing them, then sure, he tested them, but they failed. They failed the test. She 100% would have given the same speech she gave the day of the wedding that she chose him. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think a lot of people that are arguing the point of like he should have told her, it should have been a conversation, are also not thinking about what that conversation would have led to, which is nothing. She would have denied it. It would have led to nothing. She says she chose him, but does she really? Is she making it up for what she did in season 1? Jeremiah? No, I think she really chose him. I don't think their relationship was a lie at all. I think she did love him. I think she was very much so in love with him. Their relationship was very much so real. And at that moment she was choosing him, but she never, I think she was also choosing him because she wasn't letting herself feel what she was feeling for Conrad fully. And that was also a disservice by Conrad because at the end of season 2, Jeremiah says, "I will walk away. I want you guys to have that conversation." Specifically says, "If it was anyone else in the world, I would fight like hell, but I won't because it's you. And if she chooses you, I will walk away. I will not get in the way again." And Conrad walked away. I was glad Taylor finally called her out on that about being so codependent on that situation. Yeah, I loved Taylor in this episode. I've always liked Taylor. Her character and the whole mom situation started to kind of annoy me a little bit. But I really, really liked Taylor in this situation. And I thought that she had a lot of growth. And I thought that she was a really good friend to Belly in this situation or in this episode. I'm going to suck on a Twizzler after I said I didn't love them. Can you guys hear me chewing? Is that weird? Maybe I shouldn't do that. I was like a proud mom, lol, of Jeremiah, the way he spoke up for himself, haha. He's very unpopular opinion. I was very proud of him because up until that point, he, like everyone else in the comments was kind of saying, he didn't want to admit it. I get that. It's like he internalized all this stuff where he's like, okay, I'm at the point now where I see everything for what it is and I realize what's going on now and I don't want to admit it because admitting that means I lose the love of my life. And he still went against that and did it. And I think that shows a lot. Which Roswell? So the original Roswell that was in like the early 2000s. I don't think I ever saw the newer Roswell, but the newer Roswell, I think, was a spinoff of that Roswell. Oh, I am what I am. I'll do what I want, but I can't hide. What do you guys think about? Hi, Dobbie. Hello, my little muffin. I know. What do you guys think about people thinking it will be Jeremiah and Denise in the end since they will be working together? Maybe, but who knows? I know a lot of plot twisters coming. I don't think Denise. We talked about that like a while back. I think that Denise would really get tired of him. And I think that he wouldn't be interested enough by Denise. I don't see them being in the game. Alice, all of my the entire series of Young Royals is fully unedited on my Patreon, and the last season is edited on my YouTube. I loved it. I thought it was such a good show. It was Jar's way of exposure therapy too, yeah. I wouldn't want to put myself through that and test them. But he had to. Like, I don't know why I bit that before I was talking. This is another thing that I keep saying to people in my comments. You feel like that. I feel like that. What we feel doesn't matter. Those are our opinions. We have to think about what the character would do, what the character's mindset is, what the character's action is going to be. So for Jeremiah, you wouldn't want to put them through those tests and see that and go through that. But for Jeremiah, again, his only alternative is I do this. I either tell them and they deny it, I do this test and I see what the reaction is, or I walk away. He chose the test because he's not going to walk away and he knows that they're not going to admit anything. Come here. Dobbie. Come here. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Yeah. Say hi. Say hello, YouTube. Dobbie, you got to be nice to me because you're on video. Don't bite me. Say hi, everybody. Caffeinated cat lady, look. Where are you going? I'm surprised we got that much. Why is it when Jeremiah does something, it's manipulation, but when Conrad does something very similar, it's romantic? That is, again, one of my biggest issues with trying to talk to people in the comments, certain people. And it's funny because again, it's all the way you perceive things because again, Team Team Jelly is going to think that Bonrads are giving Conrad grace and Bonrads are going to think that Team Jelly is giving Jeremiah too much grace. It's going to be a thing, but like one of the things that I get is like, "Oh my god, you give Jeremiah so much grace." But then every single time I bring up something with Conrad in season 1 or 2, people are like, "Well, he was depressed." Okay, that doesn't excuse what he did. Like, I understand why he was doing what he did. It still doesn't excuse the hurtful things that he did. Just like the same with Jeremiah for that fact. But like, you can't say, well, everything that Jeremiah did was manipulation, regardless of whether he had reasons to or not. But everything that Conrad did is brushed over because he was depressed. It's like you don't get a free pass for hurting people because you're depressed. I just want to know where Jeremiah's letter is because it sounded like only Belly and Conrad got their letters, which is not true. I'm curious what Jeremiah's and Belly's letters say because we only know what Conrad's letter said. We definitely have Belly's because we know that her mom saw it and took it. I'm imagining that Laurel has Conrad's letter, which is Jeremiah's letter. Because Susanna wanted her to give them to them on their wedding days. So she theoretically wouldn't have brought Conrad's. That would have been crazy if she did. She wouldn't have brought Conrad. Could you imagine Laurel's like, "Oh, looky here. I just so happened to bring this one as well." So yeah, theoretically it's probably still at her house. That's why I hope he gets a happy ending so we can finally see what his letter says because he definitely had one on the tray when Susanna was writing them. Yeah, that was funny. I saw somebody on TikTok be like, "Holy shit, I figured it out. She dropped the letters when the tray dropped." And I was like, I knew the second I saw it. The second I saw it. I know, Bubbaloosh. I'm gonna get Dobby's getting very upset with me. She's like, we are supposed to be cuddling and watching TV right now. Go in the window. Go in the window, baby girl. Uh, Jeremiah's letter might be revealed at the end, possibly. Just be you, babes. Eat the Twizzlers. It's funny, Ellie, because before you got in here, I was eating them, and I'm like, they're not that good. I don't remember them. I remember them being better, but now I think I'm just munchy. I just want to eat stuff. I feel kind of bad that the only one not getting married was the one reading the letter. Yeah, that was heartbreaking. I will say that I've seen a decent amount of Bonrads say that they did have sympathy for Jeremiah when reading the letter because that was pretty freaking heartbreaking, and it was. So I liked that. I thought that was nice that people admitted, like the thing is, like, just because we're on a team doesn't mean that we have to hate the other person. Just because we support Jeremiah doesn't mean that we have to hate Conrad. Just because we support Conrad doesn't mean we have to hate Jeremiah. We can have sympathy for these other characters. It's just that we support this one at the end of the day. I saw people saying Laurel switched the letters on purpose. Of course. Of course you did. Because of course people would put something ridiculously absurd out like that instead of acknowledging that the letters fell and were clearly mixed up and put into envelopes. Oh god. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We saw the Dobbie. I know she's perfect. She's actually not, but that's what makes her perfect, right? Oh, I gotta go. She's, like, glaring at me, man. She's like, "You have been ignoring me for over 2 hours." Um, where am I? Where am I? We saw the mix-up in season 2, episode 7. Yeah, that's not true. They're calling him a stalker for sending a letter? What, Team Jeremiah is calling Conrad a stalker for sending a letter? They both lost their mother, and technically, Jeremiah was watching it happen daily. Not that it's not awful for Conrad, but Jared gets no grace. That's a hill I will die on. I 100% understand why Conrad wasn't there. He had school. He could be there as much as he could be. I get that. Watching your parents slowly decline consecutively is a prison of hell unlike any other. You cannot tell me that it was not harder for Jeremiah in that situation. 100% was hard for Conrad, but Jeremiah had to watch it. I had to take care of my mother after her accident. I physically had to carry her to the bathroom. She could not walk on her own. It is a fucking prison of hell watching your parent go through that and having to take care of them and experience those things. And he did it at the age of a teenager. Conrad didn't have to do 90% of what he had to do. It was horrible. Sadly, I don't think we will ever know. As Jenny has said, she never had a Jer in her life. That's why we only have middle names Belly and Conrad, and I'm Team Conrad. But these details about Jer and Steven. Plot twist, she changed the letters. But I want more details of what? Belly's letter will be at the end in Susanna's voiceover. That's probably what I'm thinking too. I hope there is content of the end game and not just a quick time skip. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I feel like they might just do a quick little thing of end game, but I think that there will be more stuff before that. The book ending was like ridiculously fast. I mentioned I was listening to the audiobook and I was like multitasking, doing laundry or something. And then it was like, this is Audible. And I was like, it's over? Like, it like threw it right to the ending. Kitty love, right meow. I like red vines better. My friend swears by red vines. I haven't had them in a long time, but I think I like them better too. I got Twizzlers for the theme of the show, but it was the wrong choice. Hi, Joshua. I'm leaving now, but nice for you to join. Hope we get the Conrad and Belly wedding. I don't know. Because in the book, we didn't. Well, we did, but it was like, oh, it's a wedding. Oh, there's Jeremiah. Oh, we're married. Done. So maybe we will, because we didn't get a lot in the book. Maybe they'll change that. I just want to see them both in love and not for 5 minutes. Yeah. I mean, I think it's funny because a lot of Bonrads are like, we've been tortured this entire season. We've been tortured this entire season. Just give us some Conrad and Belly scenes. And my rebuttal to that is, I ain't having a fun time either, just so you know. I totally understand with like knowing Bonrad's gonna be endgame that you would want those scenes together, and I think you do deserve them. But it ain't a walk in the park for Jelly fans either, so don't worry. No one's having a good time this season. I've always been team brothers. Belly is the problem. I could care less. Belly is a problem. I think it was last season, Lola did a TikTok with the anti-hero from Taylor Swift. And she was like, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me." I'm so glad I came across your channel. There is only a couple places you can go where if you are not a diehard Bonrad, you can't sit with them. You can totally sit with me all the time. I know that is true. I was saying before, like, anybody who, oh my god, there was a TikTok. It was so funny. There was a TikTok and it was like obviously satire, but the girl was like with her two friends and they were talking about how much they love Team Bonrad, or how much they loved Bonrad and their Team Conrad. And then she like starts to say that she's Team Jeremiah, and like it cuts and they're both in cloaks with knives to her throat. And they're like, "What did you say? What were you gonna say?" And she was like, that I love Conrad." And they're like, "Yeah." Like, it's like it is wild out there. I think it's because they put it in their heads that Conrad was never there, and that's not what Jer said. Hmm? I don't. I think it's because they put it in their heads that Conrad was never there, and that's not what Jer said. I don't know what that means. I want more details of Steve and Jer, like their wedding letters and middle names. I don't know if we're gonna get it though. They're really gonna focus on Pelly. Elope in Paris, maybe. I don't think so. I don't see Belly eloping after everything that just happened. I just want a final belly flop. Oh, I feel like I was so in my head about everything that was going on. I did not give a good enough reaction to Belly hearing the voiceover when she's leaving Cousins and she puts the keychain on the table and she hears like the kids going belly flop belly, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cute and so sad." The ending is honestly infuriating. I'm really hoping we get a little more in the show. I hope we do too. What if Agnes and Denise ends up together? That would be the power couple of all freaking power couples. And if we got it, I hope we got a spinoff. Imagine all the brothers just right off into the sunset. Steven too. She didn't say she was texting a friend in San Francisco. And Palo Alto is 30 minutes out of San Francisco. So who knows? Denise may have been talking to Agnes. Guys, best ship is Adam and Belly because Belly needs the beach house somehow. The summer Belly lost generational wealth. Did Denise and Conrad ever interact? No. I mean, they were around each other, obviously, because the bachelorette and bachelor parties, but I don't think they ever interacted. No, we don't see Denise and Conrad interact. He's going to propose in front of the Eiffel Tower. Oh my God. That's the truth of why she wants to be a fisher. Haha, have you seen how much the beach house is worth? Oh my god, I'm sure it's worth a lot of money. That freaking house is gigantic, and that backyard, the freaking built-in swimming pool. Okay. All right. All right. I got to wrap things up. Dobbie does this thing where when she wants attention, she will go and sit in her litter box and then just stare at me. Boopa, what are you doing? What are you doing? Can you not be a dirty girl and get out of your litter box? Do you guys hear her meowing? Come on, get out of there. Get out of there. It's gross. You don't sit in your litter box. Come here, my baby. Oh, I know you're just such a brat. You're such a brat. You're such a brat, but you're my brat. You're such a brat, but you're my brat. Do you watch My Life with the Walter Boys? So I watched the first season of My Life with the Walter Boys 2 years ago when it came out, and I could not for the life of me remember anything. I literally do not even remember the main girl's name. So I have to rewatch. I didn't think it was getting a second season. What was funny is I said this in one of the last live streams. I actually remembered the Life of the Walter Boys because someone had brought it up. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, did that ever get a second season?" I looked it up and I didn't see anything. And then, like, less than a week later, they were like, "Season 2 of The Walter Boys coming out August, whatever." And I was like, how did I not see any information about filming, about anything like the cast being together, like anything like that? And now all of a sudden, here's a trailer for it. The second season's coming out. But yeah, I gotta rewatch the first. I know. I gotta rewatch the first season before I watch the second one. Denise is gorgeous. She is. How many rooms is there? Oh god, I there's gotta be a ton. Um Although they did have the boys. She was sharing a room with the boys, and then Belly got her own room. There's gotta be a ton because Susanna had her own, Laurel had her own, Belly had her own, the boys shared one, but then, like, when Taylor came over, she had her own. There's gotta be, like, at least 5 or 6. It's worth millions. I saw TikToks how rich the Fishers are. Haha, they are super wealthy. I understand why Belly wants one of them. I would too. Dobbie, we are so sorry for keeping your mama so long. Good night, good night, good night. Just finished season 2. Her name is Jackie. Yes, you're right, Jackie. I've only watched episode 1, but maybe I should watch it because I love the summer I turned pretty. So, Life with the Walter Boys, I remembered was extremely cheesy, like Hallmark movie level cheesy, to the point where the characters, like, almost don't even feel real. But I will say, I did one of those watches where I was like, "This is so stupid," and then sat there for like 4 hours binging episodes because it was very addictive. So again, like, go into it like it's not like The Summer I Turned Pretty where it's like these are actually like deep characters. This is like I don't want to nag on it. Like it's cheesy. That's the best way to explain it. It's extremely cheesy, and the delivery with some of the things is extremely cheesy, but it is very good and it is very very addictive to the point where I'm gonna rewatch the first season because I remember liking it and I want to watch the second. I'm Team Alex and I did not like the season 2 finale. Aw. I wonder, are they gonna do season 3? I wonder, maybe they'll see how good this one does. Is that a good one? I need a new show to binge. I liked it, but not enough for Aunt Julia. It's Conrad and Jeremiah all over again. That's what I've heard, but not enough for Aunt Julia and Sky. Yeah. I would only watch it for Corey, who was in Girl Meets World. Yeah, again, I liked it. I did. I liked it. But I need to emphasize how cheesy it is. Extremely ooey gooey cheesy. Did you ever watch Mean Girls the musical? Yeah, I never saw it, like, on Broadway. Oh, Sabrina Carpenter was in it, and she was in Girl Meets World, right? I never saw it on Broadway, but I've watched, Slime Tutorials. Season 3 is confirmed, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, cool. I don't like to look it up because I'll see a spoiler, so that's cool. Alright, guys, well, I think I'm gonna get out of here now because Dobbie just did something in her litter box, so now I have to clean it, and not enough bedrooms for Aunt Julia and Sky at the beach house. Okay, yeah. That's well, is that what they said? Or are they just trying to get them not to stay? I feel like I have an addiction to the cheesy, sweet guys in love triangles. I love Renee Rapp and Chris Pine. Hee hee. Oh, the movie. The movie. Is that what you said? The movie. Oh no, you said the musical, but you meant maybe the Mean Girls the musical, the movie. Yeah, I liked them together. They were good. I had my issues with the Mean Girls musical. I felt like it could have been a little better. I didn't like the way that they did it. Like I felt like they made all the music sequences feel like a music video, which is kind of weird. I did not love I love Renee. Like I'm obsessed with Renee Rapp. I just got her signed vinyl for her latest album and it's like my favorite signature ever. But I feel like the way they had her do "My Name is Regina George" in the lunchroom scene, that was, like, my most highly anticipated scene and my most disliked scene because it was, like, slow and drawn out and everybody was frozen, and it was so bizarre. I was very disappointed, but I loved them in it because I remember you being surprised when looking up season 2 date. Yeah. About seeing there will be a season 3. Oh, did I say that? I don't remember that. Yeah, maybe I did. I don't remember that. Maybe they did say season 3, yeah. Yeah, super valid, I just love those 2. Bye, go love on. Oh my god, I love her new album, love her music. Dobbie! Okay. Mwah. I love all of y'all. Thank you so much for joining me in the live stream. I am going to do let me look right now. I was gonna say I will do my best to be here next Thursday. Yeah, at the moment, I know, my little boobaloosh. She's like, "God damn it, leave!" I will do my best to be here next Thursday. I don't anticipate any issues or anything preventing me. So Thursday, 7 o'clock, we will do another live stream. We will talk all things The Summer I Turned Pretty for episode 9. Dobbie, would you like to include anything? No? Oh, now you wanna sit there like a perfect little baby angel and be involved. Jeremiah's gonna end up with his 2-tier mirror glazed cake. I hope he does, to be completely honest with you. Turning my notifications on, right meow. I hope that Jeremiah ends up with his 2-tier chocolate glazed cake. I would love that. Dobbie, what do you think? Would you like that? She's like, "Get the hell off. Let's snuggle." Okay. I love y'all. Bye. Have a good weekend.